Hey guys, Ben here, and welcome back to another live stream. We are live with Canadagraphs over here. Oh, if I can do it, over here. And we're going to be talking about the latest episode of The Flash, Superman Lois, the new Batwoman set that, you've probably seen his photos from. And so we've got a lot of stuff to go through today. And maybe some of you guys are joining in the live chat right now. And this is a slightly different time. I wasn't able to actually come on and do this stream a bit earlier today, but that's just like a one-off, and we'll go back to our normal time next week. But welcome to all of you who are watching live. We have Vera in the chat, Dark Shadow, Multiversal, Tony, Strive for Greatness, and lots of other people who are joining. And remember, guys, whilst you're joining, today, we're going to be obviously going through our topics that we have. Like I said, covering The Flash, Superman Lois, and all of the other topics we got noted down. However, if you want to join in with the conversation, please be sure to send in super chats. That is the best way to get your questions, theories, whatever you have answered in the live stream. And me and Canadagraphs are going to be talking about it. We'll put it up on the screen. And obviously, your support is greatly appreciated. But for now, let's go ahead and get into this. So what did you guys think of The Flash this week? We're going to start off with The Flash. I know it was a controversial episode. I mean, if you guys watched the after party, you saw like the standoff between Paige and Eric last night, two opposing sides. I think that's pretty much representative of like everyone's thoughts. Like some people liked it, some people absolutely hated it. So yeah, tell us in the chat, what do you think about it? But for now, go. Tell me, what do you think, Canadagraph? Go.
Weird. There were some fun parts. I mean, I like Sykes' character. I think I'm going to be disappointed when he finally leaves. He's been a fun character. But the whole parental child sibling weird thing, I don't think any point in this whole thing, especially in that episode.
Oh, we are having some lags. Canadagraphs is totally frozen. I don't know if that's me. Guys, let us know in the chat. Is Canadagraphs talking or am I frozen? I don't know what's going on. Waiting for an answer. He is frozen for me. Am I lagging? I don't know. Getting no feedback here. Getting no feedback. I don't know if I'm... He's frozen. Okay, it wasn't me. Just quick. Oh, Canadagraphs is back, but we do have a super chat from
my phone was overheating, so...
Oh, your phone. I was like, am I frozen? I was like...
No, I had a little warning message come up on my phone, like a half a second before it died, and then so I just turned my fan on, so you might hear it running.
All right, well, no problem. But quickly, Janelli sends in a $2 super chat. Thank you very much, Janelli, who is also a member of the channel. Janelli says, "Can't stay, but we'll watch a replay." Well, thank you for watching either way, and thanks to your contribution, Janelli. And back to you, Canadagraphs. What do you think? Continue.
Parent-child thing doesn't fit. Like, it's just weird, and it didn't fit. And I maybe sort of kind of get where they're trying to go with it, especially when we know what's coming in the back half of the season. Mm-hmm. They're kind of trying to make it a family thing. But yeah. Weird all around. Everybody that's brought it up has talked about how weird and odd it was. Nobody, I haven't seen a single video anywhere where someone's like, that was such a brilliant idea. Like, no one.
Yeah.
Anyway, and there's always one person. There's always one person that's like, I have a different opinion. This time, no. But like, hopefully, next episode is the end of this graphic novel.
Yeah.
And I mean, it hasn't been terrible. It's been okay. I've seen some people going, oh, the show's really gone downhill. I don't think it's gone really downhill. I just think it's okay.
Yeah.
And Next episode, though, will be the defining moment on how it ranks in the all-time series of things.
Yeah.
Because if it's another weak episode followed up by this one, that's all anyone's going to remember is the last 2 episodes suck.
Yeah.
If they can go out with a bang, it redeems itself. It's not going to be the most memorable season ever, but when people are ranking it, they might put it in the middle somewhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
Remember just how that tail end of season 6 just ended at the start of season 7 there. First 2 episodes were great, and then the finale was a dud, and all anyone talks about is what a dud the finale was,
Yeah.
So they really need to nail this final episode and give us something better than they just put out this week.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. And it's true, like people remember it by like the most important points. And I feel like people are overreacting when they're saying this season is terrible. I agree. Because I think the only not okay episodes was like episode 3, like we talked about, the finale of last season, and this last episode. But then apart from that, I think it's all been like very good to good, it's been pretty solid, I would say, even though it's like, I think the Speed Force stuff, yes, it was, I preferred it like at the start, but now with this twist, I'm like, oh, I don't know. Like, you're right. It does give a bad impression when it's at the pivotal point of the story, because this is what people are going to remember. They're going to remember, oh no, like the Speed Force. They're not going to remember her like freaking out or anything, the first time. They're going to remember her being like, oh, I'm sorry, Barry, like dad. That's everyone is just going to remember that one thing. And yeah. So I pretty much align with you, like, and everyone else. Like, I said this in my review. I said it yesterday. I think the family storyline and what they were doing, like, I understand it. I get it. Like, they're setting up what's going to come in the back half with Nora and Bart. But it's cringe. It's really cringe.
And I mean, we all hear, especially from some subsections of the internet, how cringy Batwoman or Supergirl are for some of the things they put in their shows.
Yeah.
That storyline in that episode of The Flash out cringes anything those shows have done. And how much I love to pick on Supergirl. Like, this really was just some of the worst, like, so stupid. Like, I don't understand how this went into a writer's room, how they looked at each other and went, you know what? Yeah, let's do this. And it made it to a page. And no one in any point of this process was like, this reads kind of weird.
Yeah. Like, I think the first point for me was when Speed Force Nora referred to Barry as dad. And like this whole time,
that was the worst of the worst.
This whole time she's been referring to him as like my beautiful boy, blah blah blah, and then out of nowhere she talks about him as dad, and I'm like,
the others comparing each other as siblings, I can live with that to some degree. Yeah. But yeah, her all of a sudden being like, I'm your daughter. Like, no, you're not. No, you're not. The one thing I will say for this storyline, it gave us one of the great lines that should be great advice, and that is that some people shouldn't have kids.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll get back.
I said that to them. I was like, yes, and hopefully they remember this, but they won't.
Gary Newbury sends in a $1.99 super chat. He says, "What's up, Ben? You rock." And he signs off, Reverse Gary. Thank you very much, Reverse Gary. And
where is Gary clock started?
I don't know. Gary is always a little bit late recently, so maybe he turns up, maybe he doesn't. I don't know where regular Gary is, but thank you, Reverse Gary. And yeah, so what did you guys who are watching right now, let us know, did you think it's cringe? I want to see if one person out of the 56 people here thought it wasn't cringe, because I think we're going to be out of luck. But yeah, so I mean, for me, I could forgive the cis brother thing. Like, I kind of get it. However, you're right. Like, all of it, like it kind of added up, and I was like, oh, like it kind of all ticked off and just continued. And it's true, like how can you go to a writer's room and how could all of them, like, okay, not even just like the individual writers. I don't know how many writers worked on the episode. I know there's two main credited writers, but how do those two people or whoever's in charge be like, okay, this is good, like, yes, push it to TV, we're gonna shoot this.
They have a read through at some point. I mean, didn't anybody hear the read through and be like, we're mentioning this shtick a lot? Like, if it had been a one-off in the episode, maybe at most a two-off in the episode, a little weird, but you probably could pass by. How many times did one of them mention being related to the other one in some aspect? Like 7? Like, yeah, every character brought it up in some capacity. It was weird because in the first, whatever it was, 7 episodes of this arc, no one brought this up. Yeah. All of a sudden, one episode, every scene had this. I don't get it.
It all sort of kicked off from that first time. I don't remember who said it, but someone was like, you're basically like their parents. And then the writers were like, okay, like we got to kick into this storyline real fast. And we got to really force it. It's very forced. I think that is the word. Like, yes, it's cringy, but it's very in your face.
Almost like they realize they're on episode 10 and they're like, you know what, we haven't got to the point of this yet. We need to get to a point.
Yeah, and I think that is one thing that I've been thinking of, okay? So obviously this season is a bit different. We had the first 3 episodes, which were, finishing off the last story. And so we have a condensed first graphic novel this season. However, do you think the graphic novel structure works, or do you think it needs to be like altered? Because maybe this does feel like an instance where at least these final few episodes are being rushed because they haven't hit that main point. So what do you think?
This particular one, it's not working because, like you said, it is rushed because they ran. They had an idea, and the ideas had to be shortened because they're like 2 episodes short of what they would usually have, right?
Yeah.
Overall, I actually think it's a better idea, and here's why. What's the most common complaint we have about the shows is too many episodes in the season. We have a 22 episode story arc. Now they've cut it into 2 half seasons. Essentially what you're getting is seasons in one season. And people are still going to complain. They're going to be like, oh, there's too many episodes in the season. But it's like, not really. What you're really getting now is 2 10-episode seasons.
Yeah.
And all these people are like, oh, make it like 13-episode seasons. Great. You're getting 2 10-episode seasons. You just are still seeing it as a full season because that's how American television builds it,
Yeah, no, I get that. And I guess it's just like bad circumstances that this has happened this way. But I will say this. I don't know about you guys. Let us know in the chat. What do you think about this? But I'm pretty pleased to be moving on next week. Not going to lie. Like, I'm excited to move on to a new story because after this week, I wouldn't have said this 2 weeks ago, okay, because I did like it. But after this week, I'm like, okay, let's just go to a new story. Come on. Because I am looking forward to Godspeed. I know not everyone is, but I'm interested at least. And a big complaint that people have been having recently is not enough Flash. But I mean, if there is a speedster coming, surely it's going to be more Flash, right, as well? So,
I don't know. So, all I can do, from episode 11 to episode 15, I only saw them on location once, and all they were doing was like some background scenes.
Right.
So from no, that's a lie. I did see them one day, but I didn't know what the context of the scene was. From episode 11 to episode 15, I barely saw the Flash on set.
Okay.
And that's not to say he can't be on set elsewhere, but a lot of their big outdoor scenes are done downtown because they need a big city look.
Yeah.
And whenever the Flash is in a fight, it's usually, in the downtown core. So his lack of being there from like episode 12, 13, 14 I don't know. I guess we'll have to see how it turns out on screen.
Yeah. Well,
I'm a little like little bit like this. Like we might not get like full Flash, 15, 18-minute an episode stuff. We might get like 2 minutes here, 5 minutes there.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I can't remember. Did they touch on this last night's topic, or was I hallucinating it about the scheduling of actors? Like, they when
Oh yeah, we did talk.
longer an actor on the show, the more control they have over how much time they can work. And the number one thing they get to negotiate with is time off.
Yeah.
So all the people that are always complaining, they're like, "Oh, there's not enough Flash in the show." The reason there's not enough Flash in the show is because the guy playing the Flash is like, "I want more time off." So they have to fill in those minutes with other story arcs,
Yeah.
And that's just reality of television, I mean, think of like Grey's Anatomy. How much is Ellen Pompeo really in an episode? Like 8 minutes? Like, she's been there 15 years. She's suddenly like, I'm working 2 days a week, whether you like it or not.
Yeah. I don't know. I know you're not like an avid Supergirl watcher, but I feel like Melissa is on the show pretty much most of the time. Like compared to some of the other actors in these long-running shows. I don't know. I'm just thinking of that.
I mean, yeah, I'm not such an avid watcher that I've really noticed the downturn in her screen time. I mean, they're in an arc right now where it's a uniquely odd situation.
Yeah, I'm not talking about this.
She wouldn't have filmed most of that stuff until she got here, which means she would have been on a very different schedule than everyone else. Kind of can't compare it yet for this season, at least.
Yeah.
Until they're all together. And then we see how much screen time she has.
Yeah.
So I can't say I've really noticed it yet.
No, I haven't noticed it this season, but like in past seasons, I don't know. That's just something I've noticed. But anyway, thank you so much, Tina, for the super chat. Sorry, I didn't get around to this sooner, but thank you. Have a good night, and see you again next week. And yeah, so I guess this is this week we had the first part of the 2-part episode. The finale is coming this week for this graphic novel, and that is going to be the conclusion. So are you thinking it's going to be more of the same? Do you think it's going to be along the same lines? Do you think they're going to correct it? I don't know. I got a feeling it's going to be more of the same.
I sort of have to agree with you. I mean, that obviously I was on set for a couple of days during that episode, so I've seen some things. And the one scene that I kind of remember. Do you mind me talking about a spoiler here? I mean, is anyone?
No, it's okay. It's okay. Spoiler alert for those watching after.
If anyone doesn't want to hear it, mute this for like a minute. So there was a scene where Barry's standing there with the forces facing off against Speed Force. Now in the trailer, they make it look like it's just Barry versus her. They do the close-up of Barry's face, scene of her standing on the other side. They don't show other forces there because we're supposed to believe they might have died. Here's the thing: they have a scene where they're there doing their thing, and then a little bit later, they're all standing together, and they are like having a little like hangout, and Barry and Speed Force hug it out, like have a hug, like a mom-son hug. And I'm just like, did the Power of Love win this one again? Like,
I think so.
When I watched it be filmed, I didn't know this storyline was going to drag out all season with the Power of Love stuff. But the more I just thought about it after this last episode, and I thought back to that scene, I'm like, I have a hunch. I know how she's going to lose. Like, just... I
had no idea about this, and it's what I expected.
I've got photos of the hug in my blog. If you ever read my blog, you would know this, Benjamin.
I do read your blog, but I forgot.
I mean, to be fair to the writers, when they were writing this, they didn't know what would and wouldn't be allowed by that point of the year, so they have to write on the assumption that maybe a lot of fight scenes weren't going to be allowed still, right?
Yeah.
And there's been some. I mean, some shows have slowly integrated them in, but back in July and August, when they probably were writing for this episode, those weren't really allowed yet.
Yeah.
Right? So they probably had to go with this watered down idea that they have.
Well, it when you think of it, I mean, thematically, it makes sense that they've been talking about this recently, and this would be the way that they defeat the villain. I mean, it sounds pretty similar to how Eva came around. Like, that was pretty much just like, oh, sure, yeah, like, let's just let Eva go. And Eva's fine.
Have you seen, sorry to cut in 1 second. Have you seen the meme of the Godspeed Barry one where Barry motivationally speaks him down?
No, I haven't seen that.
Oh, God. It's like, he's like, I'm the god of speed, and Barry's like, I'm the paragon of love, and then the bottom one is like asterisk beside it. It's like, after a 42-minute motivational speech, and Godspeed's like, you know what? After hearing what you said, I'm gonna change my ways and go back to the future and spread love. Just like it's a show this season, you know.
Yeah,
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off though.
Oh no, it's okay. Like. Yeah, I was just saying that I think this is pretty predictable. I was expecting it. Like, you know, after all, at the end of the day, the Speed Force is important, right? The Speed Force will go away at some point. We kind of knew that, right? And Barry needs the Speed Force. Otherwise, he's not the Flash. So there had to be some sort of conclusion. I mean, I think there probably is going to be a fight, but the fight isn't going to end like maybe some of you guys want it to end. But I mean, sure, let's just move on to the next story. Let's see how this next week is, and you know, let's hope it's better than this week, because I'm gonna be honest, I thought it was pretty like okay, but then like with some of the scenes, like especially with Psych. See, I'm forgetting his name. Especially that scene when he was outside with the lady, and then like for me, it was funny that Iris was in the background. Like I don't know. I was like, oh my god. Standing
there watching him spout off for 2 minutes.
Yeah, I was like, you know.
Again, I can't remember if you guys said it or if one of the reaction channels I watched said it, and they're just like, "Why did you just stand there? Why didn't you interrupt him at some point?"
I think I said that in my review.
Let him relay this 2-minute piece of information to the viewers, because we need to hear it as the viewer.
Yeah.
But in the real world, a normal person would have interrupted him and been like, "Hey, Psych, over here."
Yo, what up, Psych?
Yeah.
Over here. Yeah, I don't know. Like that scene for me was like one of the big moments where I was like, okay, this is dumb. This is dumb. Like, this is not realistic at all. Like, no way this could have happened. Like, I mean, there's a million things that Iris and the team could have done. Literally, every time it cut back to a shot with them in the background, I was like, I feel bad for the actors. They just made them stand here this whole time as well. So
it's funny because I was on set for that scene, and yeah, I remember watching it and also thinking, and like when you're watching a filming process, sometimes the actors are there and they just need to be there to fill the space needed. But
yeah.
I was watching it, and I legitimately at that time back then I'd forgotten about it till I watched the scene. Back then, it even been like, why are they even there? Like, they're just standing there. Like,
yeah.
I don't think any of the three said a word during the take. Like, why are they there?
Yeah.
You could film that in an angle where you didn't need those three in the background, but you need the three in the background just so the viewers at home know that they're there. But yeah, I don't know, man.
I don't know. That's just like one example of why this episode was not very good.
Check this out. Who directed this episode?
And I think Eric mentioned this. I think he said it's not good enough to just have a WTF like kind of twist ending, right? Because I thought the ending was cool, right? I thought
with them all getting zapped.
With them all getting zapped and them getting supposedly killed, we know they're not going to get killed. Like, no way on earth. And I mean, you just confirmed that anyway.
Damn, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to ruin the show for everybody ever.
Not like we didn't know this was going to happen. No, but I mean, I literally made a video on this the other day. I was like, okay, if anyone gets killed right now, they can be revived. Like, it really doesn't matter. So, I mean, I think everyone had the expectation like they're going to come back straight away because Barry's going to be able to revive them no matter what.
Yeah, if it had been the mid-season finale episode, maybe you start to wonder if...
Yeah, maybe you start to wonder if there's a break.
But the penultimate episode, less likely. I mean, hey, you know, they have dropped bombs in the middle of a season before that people weren't expecting, like, not necessarily them, but the Arrowverse in general. Like, Oliver's mom, Moira, dying in, like, what was that episode? Like 6 or some random number. It wasn't a mid-season now. Like, there have been the occasional times that's happened, but it is pretty rare.
Yeah.
They weren't going to kill off 4 characters. Like, that's, come on.
I mean, yeah, and Iris specifically. Yeah. No way. So
I mean, if they had known about her tweets, maybe they would have.
maybe. Yeah, I know.
For that
one. Well, we talked about that before, and we can let's just move on to the next thing. So we've covered most really about the Flash. I mean, if you guys,
the Flash is Joe.
Yeah. Oh, Joe. Yeah, that was like the one good part of the episode.
Yeah, that was and I don't know if it was lined up that way by the people scheduling the shows on purpose or what, but for it to happen the same week, you watch Batwoman, right?
No.
No? Okay. So on Batwoman, one of the main characters there quit her police force the same week. And I just thought the timing of both of those stories happening in the same week, I almost wonder if some of this schedule balancing has been to have this work out. But at the same time, I don't think the CW is clever enough to do that.
No.
Like, I don't. So it was kind of weird they both quit in the same week.
Yeah, and that is strange.
Both of them over corruption, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I think this was definitely the best part of the story because, like, I feel like Joe's always interesting. Props to Jesse. I think he's a great actor. I think he always sells it.
Bad episode, like Joe, like bad content that Joe's characters had. Like,
yeah, of course.
Else, there's parts where you're just like, ugh. But I don't think, like, he doesn't get a lot of screen time, so there's not a lot there to mess up, right?
Yeah, exactly.
His 3 to 6 minutes an episode, does a solid job. No one complains about Joe's character.
Yeah, no one does. And I mean, Kramer, obviously you're meant to hate her, and I do hate her, and I think everyone does. There was that one thing where they introduced the bullets idea, and then, you know, it kind of backfired against what they went for with the Killer Frost conclusion, because now she's been legally approved to make bullets of the Metacure when, like, the trial was supposed to be like a big deal that it was shut down. But I get it. Like, it's story. They gotta do this character so Joe can have his story. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, the Killer Frost thing, I mean, I don't know why you do that. You devoted a whole episode to fighting this, making it a thing, getting rid of the Frost character, all to try and make a point that this can't happen, that you're not allowed to do this. You know, like 2 episodes later, she just goes behind everyone's back and tries to do it. And like Joe said at one point, he's like, this is illegal. And she's like, what was the term?
It's legal.
Huh?
I don't know the term she used. But
she used a legal term. Oh, no precedent has been set or something like that. Basically saying, like, it's only illegal because technically, you know, no one's done it yet. Like, that's not how the law really works in the real world. Like, you know, if a lawyer looked at this and saw it, they would rip that scene apart in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Like, you don't get to just go order a whole bunch of illegal bullets to a police station without going through the courts first. Like,
yeah. And I'm pretty sure in this case the courts would be against it because they were against it.
Yes, the legal precedent's already been set. So that was a huge writing hiccup, and I mean, how do you mess that up? I mean, they messed it up. They messed it up because they wanted the story to move in a certain way. But from just watching it from a legal standpoint, huge brain cramp on the writers. But I mean, considering how sloppy the rest of the episode was, I guess,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I get it. Okay, let's move on to the next thing. So let's talk a bit about your Batwoman set photos, because I'm sure some of you guys in the chat right now, you've seen Canadagraphs' blog, and you saw... Wait, you posted a blog? Yeah, you did. I just pulled it up. Yeah, so there was these set photos. People have been talking about it. Is it okay if I pull it up on the screen?
Yeah.
You want me to pull it up? Would that be good for people?
Anybody that doesn't want Batwoman spoilers, especially a big one, mute for a while. Actually, you might have to not watch too, because I think they'll be on screen.
I'm just pulling up now. I was just like double checking if... Okay, so watch out for spoilers in 3, 2, 1. This is the set photo. I mean, this is one of the set photos. You can go check out the Batwoman vlog in the description below. I'll link it after. But yeah, so what happened on the set? Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, for the scenes with Cameron Johnson, I honestly almost can tell you nothing. Here's the weird part. They were... Okay. Now, to be fair, they are trying to hide a major spoiler. And the timing of it also didn't work for them, because literally a few days later, or earlier, on the show, his character gets shot. So we're supposed to assume he might be dead.
Yeah.
So there was a lot for them to want to not get out. So a lot of people wanted him to be Batwing, and we were at set, and we see him show up to set. Now, confirming that he's live, but I had already confirmed that in a prior blog that I didn't know at the time was going to be that big of a spoiler, because we didn't know he was going to get shot. He shows up to the set, and I go to one of the other regulars there. I go to her. I'm like, did it look like he had like superhero pants on? Because his pants didn't look like normal pants from the waist down. You couldn't see he was wearing a jacket, couldn't see anything. And she's like, I think so. It kind of did. His boots definitely did. I'm like, okay, I thought so. I'm like, I think he's dressed up in a superhero costume. So the one scene they did at the other end of the alley was that one with Mary that's also in those photos. And I don't know if he was in that scene, because they had this really wide set piece conveniently that covered the alley. So I don't know if Luke was there in that scene, but they did a scene at the other end of the alley later with some burning cars. And that's the end where I got Luke. They had a big scrim up there, but they had about 2 feet on each side of the scrim that you could still see by. And I just got lucky enough. We were walking back and forth trying to figure out what's going on. I finally, just the first one, I don't know, the ones where you can see his head between like a garbage can lid and the garbage can itself. That was the first look I got at him. I was like, shit, he's there. So I snapped a picture really quick. I told the 2 people that were there, I'm like, if you come over here, you can see him. So they came over there, see him. And then I walked over to the other side, and on the other side is where I got those slightly better shots. And then later in the night, I got these other shots, the ones you're showing now with him, with the pants and that.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah, I got those shots much later in the night. I went home for a couple hours because they had, after I got those first shots, they scrimmed up those corners tight, so there was nothing in. And I'm like, okay, fair enough, you've won this battle. So I went home, had dinner, posted on Patreon, came back about 2 hours later. Now the alley is completely opened up and they're still doing the scene. I'm like, okay, well, they've got to, he's got to be in the scene. He's still there. So I never got to see, like, I believe the guy that you're looking at is actually his double. I don't know for certain because I was a block and a half away taking those shots, right?
Wow.
So only reason I took those shots is I could see the pants now in the photo, and that was the part I didn't get to see earlier for the scene, right?
Yeah.
So the reason I took those photos to add more context to the suit. But yeah, I mean, I expected a lot of attention for it, like I did. But the amount has been surprising. Like, it's going to probably be right now, it's only been up maybe 28, 30 hours. It's already my second most viewed Batwoman blog ever.
Really? Wow.
And like other sites like Screen Rant did an article on it. A bunch of other fan sites and other, like middle tier sites like Heroic Hollywood did blogs on it, but they all kept crediting some stupid Twitter account with the photo. I'm like, they didn't take the photo; they just took it from me. Like, but his scene, I literally know nothing about except there was some cars on fire and he was in the suit. That's all I know about the scene.
Well, I mean, great photos because I mean, I wouldn't say this is predictable. Like, I wasn't expecting it this soon, and I was kind of shocked when I saw the photos.
Most people have been asking for it, but yeah, to expect it in the season 2 finale after he just got shot 4 episodes earlier, I think will be a surprise to some people, right?
Yeah,
they're gonna. Anybody that doesn't read my blog or is on Twitter, when they get to the finale, they're gonna be like, I didn't expect that yet. Maybe in season 3 you might expect it, but wouldn't have been at the season 2 finale.
Yeah. Oh wait, is this the finale they're shooting? Yep. I had no idea.
That would have been their second or third to last day of shooting. I can't remember.
Are they wrapped?
I can't remember if today or yesterday was their last day.
Okay. So was it 20 or 19 this season?
For some reason, they now only have 18 episodes. At the start of the year, when they came out with the press release, it said 19. As of like 3 weeks ago, somebody on Batwoman, like I can't remember if it was an actor or a writer, someone said it was only 18 episodes, and that lines up with what has been filming wise. Like, what I saw them about a month earlier. That was when I got that photos of Wallace Day, first time seeing them on set and all that. That was about a month ago. And at that time, I thought they were on like 17 because I still thought there was 19 episodes in the season at the time. And I thought they would be ending in early May. So at that time, I was told by the person a few days after that they still had another 2 weeks. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. I guess, this and that. Yeah. And then they told me what episode they had just finished at that time. And I'm like, that doesn't line up with any of the math I know. So then I looked back at this comment that someone had said, and they had screen capped someone else's comment saying that there was only 18 episodes. I'm like, oh, I don't know why I had 19. And then I found the thing from Spoiler TV at the start of the year where the press release said there was 19 episodes. So, yeah. As with everything with the CW this year, just more mass confusion,
Yeah, there's a lot of confusion. And I mean, wait, with The Flash right now, they're filming the finale. Do you know when they wrap?
I don't, but based off of the Friday that just went by, looked like it was day 1 of finale filming. They were still probably doing like ending scenes for 17, but they had clearly started filming the finale on Friday. Maybe Thursday, but clearly on Friday. So that would mean by the end of this upcoming week, that should be the end of day 6. Now, a regular episode is usually 8 filming days, but finales are almost always longer. They're almost always 10, sometimes even 11 days. So that should mean mid next week should be the end. But I don't know. Could be till the end of next week,
Okay. So we are coming up, and maybe we might get some sort of set photos that could hint where, I guess, the season's going. Like, sometimes we get those big moments. What?
Anything's possible.
Anything's possible. I remember like
all I'll say on that is after I'm done here, I have something to do tonight.
Watch out, guys. Watch out. Canadagraphs is coming for you. No, I just remember that one time that we had, the big kind of, I think it was the end of season 3. They did some stuff outside, and it was like when he was going into the Speed Force, and I don't know. I just remember that specifically.
Took him away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember that. But yeah, so be on the lookout for that. Maybe there's going to be some set photos from the finale. And you can also go check out the Batwoman blog. I will link it in the description below after this video ends. So those of you watching on playback, go check it out. Now we're going to move on to one of our next topics. So if you have any super chat questions you want to send in and anything you really want us to talk about, please be sure to send those in right now. This stream is going to be a little bit less longer than normal, so we got about like 10 minutes left or so, and I mean, there is some set stuff that is going to be happening tonight, so maybe you'll get some cool stuff from Canadagraphs very soon. However, let's talk about what I have written down here. So recently this week we got like a bunch of quotes because David Ramsey's episodes are coming up pretty soon. The Man of Steel episode is directed by him. Wait, that's next week's episode, right? Of Superman and Lois.
I believe, I think when I was reading all the press stuff, I believe next week.
Yeah, no, it is. I remember because he's doing 7. This week was 6. So that's coming up fast. And I mean, talking about Superman and Lois, the show's back on. It was great. I loved it this week. I haven't not liked a single episode. I'm fully into it. And I saw, was it your comment online? Something about like Superman and Lois being a show where you kind of have nothing wrong with it, but then you kind of forget about it. Was that you?
Yeah, I did say that. So here's the problem I have with the show. And it's not a problem with the show. It's a problem, I guess, with scheduling. The Flash is a show that no matter whether it's good or bad, because let's face it, this week's was bad, but you still, at the end of the episode, you're processing that show for a while. You're like, I can't believe they did this. Can you believe this character did this? And you're looking at what other people are saying on it. You want that fresh view from other people. You're still engaging with that show. Well, this new show is already airing 20 minutes into the episode, and you've barely noticed what's going on in the episode. And I've found this week after week after week. I am not catching everything that's going on in Superman and Lois because the first half of the show, I'm kind of just, it's there in the background, and that's all to me, right?
Yeah.
So scheduling wise, I think it's hurting it from an engagement standpoint because let's be honest, this day in society, a large chunk of the fans, they engage on social media as the show isn't going on live and immediately after the show's end. So if you're watching both of those shows, as soon as the Flash is over, you're talking about the Flash on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, wherever you go to talk about it. And you're kind of not maybe paying attention to Superman and Lois. Now, there is another thing. Sunday nights, they have Legends and Batwoman together. The thing with Legends is a show you can watch the episode and just zone out. As soon as that episode ends, you don't have to think about Legends. It's not a show with a lot of depth into thinking about it. It's just a fun distraction. So you can focus on that one a lot faster. I think Flash and Superman and Lois are both too much content going on in there to have them back to back. From the standpoint of social engagement and people who watch the shows in that way, which is something CW is really values a lot. They value having trending topics and their shows being talked about on social media. So it's kind of hurting Superman and Lois in that way because people aren't really watching the show as much because they're still checking what the things were people said about the Flash 20 minutes into the episode.
Yeah.
I still like it. I just don't see it all the time, right?
Yeah, no, I get it. And like that's kind of like a similar thing for me. Okay, guys, so I don't watch Superman and Lois right after. However, I did know, and I keep on noticing every week, as soon as the Flash finishes, you get like 2 seconds break, and then Superman and Lois starts.
They show you the preview for the next week, and almost right into the next episode, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. And same thing for Supergirl. Like, I think it's actually not very good. Like when you have a show like The Flash playing straight away, and then you have a show that you're looking forward to maybe, but you have no time to process, and it's like previously on Superman and Lois or something, right? And you're like kind of not into it. So I think for me, and I don't know about some of you guys, but watching it in the morning as I do for Superman and Lois, I get to enjoy it more because I can think about it. I've done my review for The Flash. I don't need to think about The Flash. I can just think about Superman and Lois. And so, and from a YouTubing standpoint, doing and covering these shows, I would prefer it to be on a different day. It's a lot of work. However, I get why they want it because, you know, people watch The Flash and then they're not going to turn the TV off.
Audience, and they're right, there is, but
yeah.
I think it is doing a bit of a disservice. They don't, like I said, with Legends and Batwoman, it seems to be fine because Legends is such a light show. You can forget that after it's over and start watching the serious Batwoman show and not really miss much. Flash and Superman and Lois both have pretty serious stories. You know, all that. Flash is supposed to be the lighter of the two shows, but it's not this season. Mm-hmm. And you know, you end the Flash, and you're still processing it for a while. Meanwhile, this other show is already just right in going. You know, you don't even have a commercial break. Like,
yeah. I mean, it would be better if they had a commercial break. Like they have so many, but they can't put one at the end. Annoying. Anyway, Mauricio sends in a $1.99 super chat. Thank you very much, Mauricio, for your support. Much appreciated. Mauricio says, "Why is everyone all dressed up on the Flash set?" Do we know what this is talking about?
I don't yet. If Mauricio wants to follow up and clarify in the chat, I'll look for it. But
maybe we've missed something whilst we've been out. But you said the shoot is a night shoot, so maybe it's not this new one. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, Mauricio, if you have anything else that you can add to this, let us know. But thank you so much for your support. But yeah, in terms of what I was talking about, so Superman and Lois is great. But next week, we have the start of the Diggle stuff. We have David Ramsey directing. He's not going to be in... Oh, okay, I'll get to that in a second. Let's just finish my point. David Ramsey's not going to be in this episode. They did confirm he's coming back later. And I guess this is probably like a scheduled thing, but also the episode is supposed to be like a Luthor flashback episode. So I get why he's not there, but you are going to see him. Anyway, we're going to continue on with Mauricio's point from her super chat. So Candace and Jordan posted photos behind the scenes in the Rule Fancy. Yeah, I saw those photos. Maybe you can find it online if you haven't seen it. But Candace and Jordan are dressed up, and I don't know if that's just like them going home. Do they dress up that fancy? I don't know.
Are you talking about her in this reddish orange dress?
Yeah. Wait, send it to me on Twitter, and I'll pull it up on the screen for context for people.
That doesn't look like Iris hair. That looks more like just hanging out hair.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But it is on the set though, because I saw Leslie Stan. Let's try and bring it up. Candace. I'm trying to find it. Where did you find it? Oh, in the red dress.
Yeah.
I got it. Okay, I'm going to pull this up on the screen. This is what we are talking about for those of you who were a bit confused. So, yeah, this doesn't really look like Iris. But However, it must be noted, if you look in the background, there is a stand, there's a light, and they are on a set. You can tell. This is a light also behind.
Oh, I actually didn't even see that photo. I was looking at a completely different one. Same dress, though. Where'd you find that?
Oh, so I would say this is going to be
Is that in her story?
actually seen in the episode, because they are actually filming right here. Like, obviously, the between takes, but they are dressed up on the set. So I don't think they've just randomly shown up, like, dressed up.
No, that's definitely got to be something different. How long ago was that posted, and where did you find it?
Just, I typed in Candace Patton, and it was on, like, a Stan page. Anyway, yeah, so this is definitely going to be in an episode because they are on a soundstage, and like Mauricio says, there is like a possibility this might be like a fancy kind of dinner, like maybe like a family dinner. Nathan says, I would guess this is the most likely thing, unless they go into like some event, and this is an interior set that they built.
Yeah, that's definitely at their studio. That's definitely
their
studio.
Yeah, it's definitely their studio. So I don't know if they create a new set, or I would say the most likely thing right now is probably this is like a fancy dinner where, you know, this is the finale. You have all of Team Flash there. Maybe you have a dinner with Nora, Bart Allen, maybe Jay's still there. I don't know. Maybe it's like a whole big kind of do thing. We don't know the context, but this is definitely filming. So you got anything to add?
I don't, because I didn't know about this until 2 minutes ago. All I can say is it's clear that that's an in studio shot, and it's clear that they are doing a scene where they are dressed up fancy. Like that. That's not. They didn't come to work dressed like they're going to a ball. Like,
yeah.
I mean, we all. I would assume most of us know. Jessica and John and Jordan are all sticking around for the 18th episode. So seeing them on set together isn't a shocker. I don't know what the story is. Like, is it a dinner, party? So last week for the 17th episode, they did a scene in a church. But that only had Jessica and John Wesley Shipp there. And then Grant was there for the second day of the shoot. No sign of Candace, no sign of Jordan, which are the two people in that photo. So I don't know. They could have recreated the church in the studio. I don't know.
The Flash is praying.
Huh?
The Flash is praying.
Oh, yeah.
He is religious.
Well, also
hashtag confirmed.
Also seen there was Godspeed, and of course, God, church, speed, Godspeed, you know.
He is the literal god of speed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea. Anyway, I'm sure we're going to find out very soon. But, you know, that isn't for a while because this is them shooting the finale. Okay, let's go back to what I was doing. Thank you very much for the super chat, Mauricio. Also, if anyone wants to send in any final super chat questions, please be sure to do it now, because we're heading into our final topic, and our final topic, as I set up, is the John Diggle stuff. So recently they've done a bunch of interviews, again, preparing for Superman and Lois this week. So there was some quotes from the Superman and Lois showrunner, Todd Helbing, also David Ramsey himself. And it seems like from what we're getting, we're probably not going to see Green Lantern as per se, but they have said that maybe Diggle has refused the invitation from the Green Lanterns. I am a bit confused because there's so many quotes and they revealed like so many different things. Did you kind of get a gist of what was going on?
I don't. I'll be honest. I only remember the Cliff Notes parts of it, and that being that he rejects the ring, and that his character on Legends of Tomorrow is some stupid-looking cowboy guy, and that's about the only parts of that article that I actually can retain.
Yeah.
No other point in the article did they circle back to the Green Lantern stuff. Like, they didn't follow up. They just were like, "Oh, he rejects it. Let's move on." A good reporter, or a reporter that maybe isn't on the payroll of Warner Brothers, would have been just like, so wait, he's not going to be Green Lantern at all? Like, that would have been my follow-up question. You know, like, you can reject something first and still end up being it in the end. But the way the article read, sounds like he's not going to be Green Lantern. And I actually think this is a strategic mistake on their behalf of bringing this news out, because so many people were going to tune into these episodes
to see.
Yes, yeah, they were gonna tune in on the hope one of those episodes he was going to be Green Lantern. Telling people up front, any casual viewer from Arrow or Green Lantern fans or just Arrowverse fans who don't check out all the shows and might have checked out the other shows to see Green Lantern, don't have to now. I don't know why they would do this.
Also, now I think a lot of people aren't going to check out Legends just because they released that photo and people know what they're getting. They teased it very good in the initial report, like months and months and months ago. They said there would be a mystery character, and people were initially like, Green Lantern, Green Lantern.
Yeah, I even thought that at the time. Like, you know, when it first came out that first day, I legitimately also went, oh yeah, I wonder what mystery character this is going to be, thinking it would also be Green Lantern. But after a day or so of like the thought process just going through my head, I was like, there's no, of all the 4 shows, that's the one least likely that are going to drop Green Lantern in first. Like, he's a real character, a serious character. It would have made more sense to put him on one of the real shows. So, Legends, actually, the more I'd thought about it, seemed like the most unlikely place. But now no one's going to watch that for that, at least. I mean, people still watch it for Legends, but no one's tuning into that additionally for a Green Lantern scene, you know?
Yeah. Well, I think it's a bit of a shame, and I mean, I wasn't expecting him to show up as Green Lantern or anything in any of these episodes, me personally. However, like, I don't know, them coming out and saying it's kind of like dimmed my excitement, because I was like, oh, maybe they've got something, you know, up their sleeve. But it seems like with them revealing a lot, and I know they haven't revealed a lot about like Supergirl's episode when he shows up, the Flash's episode. We've got a teaser about him showing up in Batwoman. I got a quote. Apparently, Diggle goes to Gotham City to see a specialist for debilitating headaches, and he's hearing voices. So we know limited stuff about those episodes, but them saying straight up, like, no.
Yeah. I mean, I just... I don't understand the CW. I don't know if they're trying to sabotage themselves or what, because their promotions department and all that, I don't understand them. Like, mediocre promotion all season on certain shows. I mean, they've pumped the hell out of Superman and Lois, and I understand. It's your moneymaker. Fine, you have to promote it. But mediocre promotion, I'd say, on Flash and Batwoman, and almost none on Supergirl, and so close to none, it may as well be none on Black Lightning. Like, their promotion departments failed there. Their promotion department failed on promoting the show through their places like Deadline. Like, they have these deals with them, and they're kind of like, hey, give us.
They have deals with them? I didn't know that.
And they're not even giving them good stories. Like, they're like, hey, can you report on this thing that people are going to be angry about? Like, I don't understand it.
Yeah.
And then third thing. Now, 3 times in the last 2 months, I've spoiled a new character.
And they haven't revealed a poster.
Yeah. Now, the Cameron Johnson one, I can give them a pass on that because of where the character is in the storyline right now. I can give them a pass on that one. The other 2, no way they shouldn't have had that ready to go. As he testified, they put out a promo photo 2 weeks after it had been shot 3 different times.
Yeah.
I don't understand what they're doing there. Like,
it was very underwhelming, wasn't it? Yeah, like I mean, 3 weeks later, we've seen the photos about 1,000 times of Azzy in the suit. Then they release a poster, and you're like, "Huh, okay, whatever."
Yeah,
Right?
like, yeah, I'm sure some people it was the first time seeing it for them. I'm sure, but
And then it
75%
was funny,
of them
like,
have already seen it.
yeah, it was funny. All the reports, they were like, "First look." Da, da.
I always badger them about that stuff. The other funny thing was the day that it came out, everybody and their dog was refreshing, waiting for a Jordan Fisher photo because he was going to be on set that day. I even told
Yeah,
Paige,
I remember.
I messaged Paigey that day, and I was like, just so you know, they're doing an exterior shoot today. And then I messaged him a little while later. I'm like, Jordan's on set. There's going to be a promo photo soon. And Paigey even went to Twitter. He's like, you know, they expect a promo soon, and he even followed up with me. He's like, someone that I know has confirmed they're putting out a promo today. Promo they ended up putting out wasn't Jordan Fisher. It was Ozzy Test Spy. The Ozzy one could have waited 2 more weeks because it's already been spoiled. You could have gotten on top of the Jordan Fisher one. I was so frantic to get ahead of their PR department that day. I put out that blurry one off my camera. Like I took a photo.
I remember. And you went, Canadagraphs.
Get it out there because I'm like, I guarantee you at noon this is dropping. I got it out at like 11:52 because I'm like, I don't have time to go home and edit it professionally. I'm just getting this up now because I was sure at noon they're dropping that.
I don't know. I think it's true. Like the last few years, they've really slacked off with the promotional stuff. Like, I don't know. It's just maybe it's just a lack of or a like bad sense of timing in general.
It was never that bad either before. Like they used to have people who explicitly would follow my account and a couple of the other regulars here because they knew we dropped spoilers all the time. They used to follow us to know what we were up to so that they knew if they had to jump on something right now. What happened to these people? Did they move on to a new company and they don't have someone now? Like, it's so weird this year.
I don't know. Anyway, well, that about does it for this live stream. We've hit an hour.
Mark.
Maybe we get to see some new set photos very soon. We know that there is a flash set happening tonight. Possibly might be some stuff. Maybe there's nothing. I mean, it's all a flip of a coin, really. But yeah, they are shooting the finale right now. So maybe at some point over the next week or so, we'll get some sort of glimpse again. I mean, I'm hoping for like another Bart Allen photo because they were pretty cool. And that day where you were frantic, there was some really great photos that came out of that. And I mean, out of all of the paparazzi, like, you know, around that set, I think honestly yours were the best ones.
There was 2 of us. It was me and my buddy, the one that was for like Just Yard and that got. There was only 2 of us there. I mean, there was other people later in the day, but that set that we both shot, like where Jordan, Jessica, and Grant were in the middle of that street. Yeah, there was only 2 of us there.
Oh, really? I thought there was more people. I don't know why I did, but
I actually found that one by dumb luck. Same as the one I'm going to tonight. I found by dumb luck. I went out the night before looking around. Funny enough, for a Supergirl set that I didn't find, and instead found the signs for the Flash.
No, I remember that was the night before our stream. After our stream, the last time you came on.
Right. Yeah. So I went out looking for the Supergirl set, found the Flash and set dead. I'm like, wonderful. So I kept that to myself. I told the one other person, the paparazzi that went there, I told him, and I'm like, no one should be there. It's going to be early in the morning because it was an 8 a.m. shoot, which great. We don't get a lot of daytime shoots for the Flash downtown. It's usually late afternoon or night. I'm like, this is going to be great. No one's going to be up for it. And I was right. You know, there was only 2 of us there. Sure enough, the evening shoot, there was 2 other fans at set and me, like a couple more people, you know, later in the afternoon, people are up, you know. So, yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens. But thank you guys so much for watching, and for all of you who have been watching this whole time, those of you watching on playback, and thank you for all of the super chats and everyone who's been supporting throughout this live stream, every live stream, just watching the videos. It all helps out. But thank you guys for watching, and go check out Canadagraphs. Links in the description below. Twitter, blog, YouTube, everything's going to be there. So yeah, catch you guys later.